Hello Internet World, this is Dan with Arcadegame.tech, and again this is my follow-up video for the Pandora Box 9 arcade game installation. And I'm showing off the JAMMA harness here because there is an issue with converting a JAMMA arcade cabinet to a Pandora Box 9, and it is this. The Pandora Box 9 has more buttons than the original JAMMA harnesses did. So if you bought an arcade cabinet and you're trying to do this conversion, you've got to actually add button wires to the harness in some cases. And as you can see in this particular harness, there's nothing there. It's blank. You see these 4 holes here. There's nothing. And these are the button conductors for the Pandora's box. As you can see, you've got button 1, button 2, button 3, and in Pandora you have button 4 here, button 5 here, and button 6 is actually taken up by the second ground. Now you can disconnect the ground from the power supply and this one and connect it, use these conductors as button conductors. However, you're going to want to make sure that you tie back to this ground at least, so that you have, good contact and the buttons actually work. The problem is you see I've got no wires here. What am I going to do about it? Well, on the Pandora box the pinouts, which I have handy dandy placed right here, you'll see a number of NC, N/C, 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 and anywhere you see N/C on this table is spots where the Pandora's box has no contact. It doesn't do anything. So personally, this is a nice handy labeled one, but if you count down your pins, or at least jump from the key, 2 of my favorites are count 1 and count 2. These go to your hard counters, and most JAMMA arcade games will have wires here. Some didn't, but most do. But these are the 2 wires, the one on this side and if you can see on this, the purple, which is the count 2 on the other side. These lead to the hard counters. You're going to need to disconnect them from the hard counters, of course, but you're going to reuse them as button conductors. Okay, this harness is handy because it's got labels on everything. Some JAMMA harnesses will have an audio here. Your speakers are here, but this is for your audio amplifier. And you know what? If your audio amplifier, if you don't have one, if you're not using one, which is quite common, there were only a few games that used it, and there are wires there, snag those wires, man. Another thing is, if you're only doing Pandora and you're not planning to hot swap JAMMA boards left, right, and center, you can disconnect the negative 5 volts from the power supply and use those light blue negative 5 volt wires, because Pandora's box does not use negative 5 at all. You can feed it negative 5, doesn't do anything to it. It just terminates and goes nowhere. So it's not requiring that voltage. So you can remove the negative 5s and use those. Of course, make sure you take them from the power supply. And that would be where I would get the conductors from. But you say, that, well, Dan, that's handy, but how do I get these conductors out of the edge connector? Well, I'm going to tell you how. If you see, I'm going to do a real super close-up. You see that just above the back of the pin, there's that little port. It looks like just a little blank space. Just a little blank space right there, a little blank space right behind the pin. And that is for your pin extractor. Okay? So, what's a pin extractor? Well, if you go on Amazon, these are pin extractors. And they cost about $8. They're not expensive. Very much not expensive, and they extract all kinds of pins. These are for Molex pins. Some of these are for automotive connectors. I mean, just about anything you can imagine. You get the whole bunch of them for like $8. Now, I've separated an edge card connector pin, which is this one right here, from that set. Okay. As you can see, it's got a little point on it. Very thin piece of spring steel. And all it does is it goes into the edge connector port behind the pin and allows you to pull the pin out through the back with the wire completely attached. So I'm going to do a magic trick, and this magic trick is I'm going to try and do this while at the same time keeping a video going. This should be nice. Everybody ready? All right. I should have a second person helping me with this, but you know what? I don't. So, let's see if I can get this phone situated accordingly. Okay. So I am going right for the count, and I'm putting it right behind the pin. Oh, whoop. Sorry, guys. Excuse me, Internet. As you can see, the spring steel is connected right behind that pin. Okay, and that's separating it from the lock-in portion. So now that that's in there, I'm just going to take and remove by pulling the wire. And the pin extractor fell out, of course, because there's nothing holding it into place. It was being held in place by friction. So this is the JAMMA pin. So disconnected from the other end, this is a button conductor. So now you can see, if I take this over here and take it to one of these, there we go, and just slide it in. Did you hear that click? That click means it's now clicked into place. So where's that gray wire? Oh, it's in the spare. It's locked into place. And you can use that for the buttons. So folks, I hope this has been educational for you. You're not going to have to go out and buy a JAMMA harness and buy all kinds of stuff. You can just remove the conductors that the Pandora is not using and repurpose them for your use. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. You can find me at Arcadegame.tech. It's a new website designed for the sales and support for arcade games and people that are just collectors and people that are just interested in the hobby in general. Right now it's just started up. All it's got is my eBay store, but nonetheless, you can find me there, Arcadegame.tech. Have a great day. Bye.